We are live.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Francois and Sarah here. As
Francois
you
T
can,
and Sarah T, actually.
yes, Francois T and Sarah T. Good one. As you can see, we're here for a clearly impromptu ramble about anything. So, yeah,
Anything.
anything.
We decided it's gonna happen. We don't know what we're gonna chat about, so sorry if
That's
we
it.
take a bit of time to get into this because we have not pre-thought this at all.
No, not
But
at
that's
all.
okay because that's how
Yeah,
we roll today.
that's right. So,
So
if
if
there's
you would like
anything,
to roll on in with us, roll on
yeah,
in.
roll on in, and if you've got anything you'd like for us to discuss, feel free to let us know, and we'll take it from there.
Unless we know nothing about the topic that you have brought up, then we will completely wing it and then move on to the next subject. All good.
Yes, exactly right. Oh, yes, exactly.
So hopefully people join us. This is, as we said, very impromptu.
Mm,
So
yeah. Now, oh, wow, Jin Cat's here. Hello, Jin Cat. Jin Cat says, I have a cold because of the weather change and I'm home in bed on drugs and might fall asleep. Well, Jin Cat, first of all, thank you so much for joining us for this impromptu chat.
hi.
And a cold because of the weather change and home in bed. I totally understand where you're coming from, Jen. I've had what I think is a cold for quite a few days now, so I totally understand what you're saying. You stay
Yeah.
in bed there, Jen.
Yes, rest up and get better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sending our love and
Um,
positive vibes and all that stuff too.
yes, big love and big positive vibes
Big
through
positive.
the airwaves of wherever you're listening to us from.
Yes, feel it in our voices flowing out. But thank you for joining us because we do need the viewers right now, clearly.
Yes, we do.
If you
Um,
have anything you would like us to chat about, it can be anything and everything. Let us know.
yeah, just let us know. We'll definitely talk about it. It's one of the great things about going live in an impromptu thing is we're just taking anything that you guys want us to chat about. So
Winging it as we go.
yes, exactly right.
Okay, because that's just our role.
It's right. That's how we roll here in Australia.
Yeah, in Australia at 11:18 p.m. If anyone joins, tell us the time where you are.
Yeah, you're good to know. Um,
Comment below and let us know.
exactly. Us know.
Needly.
Yes. Um, so while we wait for some answers to come in, I just thought I would quickly, because we're talking about absolutely anything and everything. I don't know why this has come to mind, but it has talk about a quick show that Sarah's been watching lately, and so have I. It's called Drop Dead Diva. Now, Sarah,
Love.
you're loving this show. Now, what can you tell everyone about it, and what makes you love the show?
I think that it is just a very light-hearted show, and we all need a little bit of light-hearted fun in our lives via television.
We do that.
I don't want to give too much away in case people do want to. Do you want to give a quick overview of the general theme of the show, Francois?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I guess would giving away the intro give away too much?
No, I think it's fine because that happens in the first episode anyway.
Okay, cool. So yeah, basically, Dr. Diva is a show about this skinny blonde-haired model who and she ends up in a car accident. She dies. She goes to heaven, and while she's in heaven, she presses the return button. At the same time as her dying, there is a plus sign who also dies, and the soul of the model ends up going inside of the body of the plus size lawyer.
Ooh,
Ooh. So she has
exciting.
to wake up and deal with all of that. And so now she has to take on this other person's identity and live her life. Yeah, it's really interesting, but a lot of fun.
Very interesting. I don't know how you'd feel if you were dropped into someone else's body, but I think it would be quite the challenge.
Absolutely, yeah. I agree. But I must say, she does have a really good attitude towards it, especially as you go along in the first season. Um,
Certainly.
yeah, she's a great attitude about it. It's really fun. The show is it's quite fun in its way. It's not taken too seriously.
Yeah, as I said, it's a very light-hearted show. It is pretty pretty comedic and pretty fun. They do have some serious moments, of course, but
Hmm.
for the most part, it's just a really fun show to watch, and that's why I've been enjoying it again. I have watched it in the past, but I've been enjoying it again recently because it just makes you feel kind of yeah, kind of good. It's like a bit of one of those feel good kind of shows, and we all need some
Yeah,
feel good in our lives.
that's
We
so
have
true.
Honey here who says, "Hello, family. Hi, Honey."
Hi, honey. Great to have you here. Welcome to our completely
Yeah.
impromptu ramble about anything
And then,
chat.
Honey, tell us the time where you are currently, because we want to know the time where people are, and
Yeah,
also if you have anything to share or want to talk about or want us to talk about, let us know.
yeah. It's one of the great things about having an impromptu ramble. We are taking suggestions from the audience today.
Because we have not prepared ourselves whatsoever for this.
No, not at all.
8:22 a.m. where Honey is. Oh,
Yeah. There you go. It's morning over there.
good morning.
Good morning. Yes. And welcome to Wake Up with Francois and Sarah. Also, Francois.
For all your
um, and,
morning chat needs.
oh, and
9:20.
Jen cut. Yeah,
Yeah,
go.
9:23 a.m. in Indiana.
Oh, lovely. There we
Good
go.
morning
It's not.
to you too.
Good morning to you too. Yes. It may be evening for us, but it looks like so far we're a morning show
We
over
are
there.
approaching morning here in Australia. It is 11:23 p.m. So it will
That's
be
true.
midnight soon, and we'll be on a new day.
Yes, that's true. So if there's, as we said, if there's anything you want to talk about, just let us know. It can be anything at all, and we will.
We will answer any topics, any personal questions, depending on how.
Oh, sorry about that. I think I might have just been lost a little there. I'll come back in just a moment. Okay, can you hear me? No. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I can't hear anything that's happening at the moment. So I do apologize, but I think Sarah will return to us quite soon. In the meantime, while we wait for her, Jinkat says Hurricane Irma headed to Florida in the US. Honey Hepburn, can you hear me? Thank you, honey. Yes, so I heard a little bit about that. I don't know too much about it. So if you want to let me know a little more, that would be great. I don't know too much about what is happening with Hurricane, but I can do a bit of research, that's for sure. And yeah, we can certainly discuss that here today. So let's see what's coming up for me. Okay, so it says that it is, wow, it's a very powerful hurricane. The most powerful Atlantic hurricane recorded in history, has killed at least 14 people after tearing through the Caribbean. It's now on course to devastate the United States. Hurricane Irma is now heading towards Florida, which is on high alert, has ordered 500,000 people to evacuate. Oh goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that. The Category 5 storm had maximum sustained wind speeds of 185 miles per hour on Thursday, according to the US National Hurricane Center. It was downgraded to a Category 4 within 150 miles per hour winds on Friday, but remains extremely dangerous. The storm of nuclear ferocity has turned along a path through the Lesser Antilles and Puerto Rico and towards the Dominican Republic.
Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, that's okay, Sarah.
Had some technical difficulties. I have returned.
Yay. We were just quickly talking about Hurricane Irma.
Oh, yes, yes.
So the storm of nuclear ferocity has turned along a path through the Lesser Antilles and Puerto Rico and towards the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and Cuba. Residents of Florida are preparing for potential hit over the weekend, and Irma's eye passed directly over the island of Barbuda, I think it is, meaning its inhabitants were twice subjected to the fastest winds. Well, I'm so sorry to everyone that's going through that.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Hopefully as many people as can be are safe and get through this.
Honey says, my thoughts and prayers are with everyone in the path of the hurricane, all of them.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Jen says, right. Honey says, I have a lot of friends on the coast. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
I'm hoping for everyone's safe. Honey.
Yeah. And Jen says, in a crisis, it's showing how Americans pull together to help. Well, that's good that they're all coming together.
Most certainly.
I do appreciate that. I mean, I feel like, not to take it out of America, but I feel like it's the same here in Australia. When we have a big disaster, Australians will come together to help.
People do certainly pull together in situations like this as much as possible. Honey said, yes, I agree. It seems as if we were on the verge of a race war and now we see people pulling together from all backgrounds. And that's true. It's unfortunate that people have to go through situations like this, but I think situations like this do help people sort of put things aside and pull together and go, this is what we need to do, and we need to just support each other and do as much as we can to get through this. Which, as I said, is very unfortunate that it's in this setting that people have to do that. But sometimes hardships do pull people together in ways that you wouldn't see otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. Completely agree.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear about that. Jen says, what type of natural disasters happen in Australia?
Good question, Jen. We have had some tornadoes, I know.
Okay. Yeah.
In places. So, they're very rough as well. What else, Francois? We've had like bushfires and things like that.
I remember Black Friday.
Yeah. And so, particularly in summertime, there are a lot of bushfires happening around Australia that are just really, really bad. And they have to do a lot of backburning. I don't know if people know what backburning is, but backburning is basically where they start another fire that goes in the direction of the main fire so that they burn each other out, because that's the only way that they can handle the nature, like the severe nature of the fire. Obviously they do the best they can to put it out as they can, but sometimes backburning is the only way to handle that. So we deal with a lot of bushfires and things like that.
That's true. Do we have a tsunami recently, or am I just imagining that happened?
I'm not too sure, actually.
I think we've had a tsunami. Jinka just said, so true, Sarah. A crisis does pull us together. Unfortunately, it takes that to happen.
Yeah, it is really unfortunate, Jen, that this has to happen, that people need to go through hardship like this to pull together. And it's like very bittersweet, because we don't want these bad things to happen. But then on the other hand, it does pull people together and help people put aside differences and work together, which is something that people need to be doing in general.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those good but not good situations.
Yeah, exactly. Like, great, but unfortunate had to happen under these circumstances things.
Yeah, Exactly.
Jen says they get tornadoes too, where Jen is from.
Yeah.
We've had a few grass fires, no back burning for Indiana. California does, I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think also because Australia can get really hot in the summer, is why we can get prone to that. And we also have, what do you call it? Is fire restrictions the right word to say? Do you know what I mean? Like where we can't light a fire.
Yes, there are fire restrictions at certain times of the year. We also have water restrictions, which I know not every country has at certain times of the year as well. I don't know how much Francois knows about the water restrictions.
Yeah.
But we have those as well due to our country tending to get very hot and
Before I get into that, I spy with my little eye. Mr. Landon is here. It has been a while. Good morning. Landon says, good morning. I seem to always miss your chats. I've been traveling a ton for work. I absolutely remember you, Landon. Not a problem at all. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, hi Landon. This is a very impromptu chat. We don't have a particular subject that we're chatting about, but thank you for coming and feel free to jump in with anything that you'd like us to chat about, because we'll certainly, if we can, chat about it.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
We're throwing the topics out to you guys today. Landon says, I lived in New Orleans when Hurricane Katrina hit back in 2005. My family was displaced for about 6 weeks. The flooding was terrible.
Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too. I remember that. Hurricane Katrina, that was terrible. So sorry to hear that happened to you, Landon, and to your family.
But I see your little smiley faces there, Landon. So
The
smiley faces.
So good to have you here.
And what's the time? Sorry, Francois. What's the time where you are, Landon?
Yeah. What I was going to say was just quickly, I was rewatching a video recently that I did. Marlene was being interviewed about something, and a question came up from someone named Landon. And I said, oh, is that my Landon? I got a comment from Landon on that video saying, yes, it was him. Yeah, which was so good. And I will never forget that name now. So
Landon's getting in on it all. Good on you, Landon.
Honey says, I remember that. I work with a lady at my hospital in Arkansas and who stayed after Katrina. Oh.
And good job pronouncing Arkansas correctly there.
Did you think I know said
Arkansas? Arkansas. No.
Yeah.
Yes, us Australians do know how to pronounce some of your places over there.
Some of them.
Some of
them.
It's 8:30 a.m. where Landon is. Good morning, Landon.
Wonderful. So you all shouldn't be so far from each other, I would imagine, because of how close the time is. I imagine. Don't know that.
He imagines. Still not very sure.
But either way, Honey's impressed, so thank you, Honey. I appreciate it.
Jin said we get fire and water restrictions here depending on the rain or lack of rain. Yeah. We also are advised not to pump gas in 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
There you go. Yes, yeah. So as Sarah was saying earlier, we do get water restrictions. I remember certainly when I was younger, we had a, well, this wasn't so much a water restriction, but we had a gas strike. This was the worst thing for me. Do you remember the gas strike, Sarah, or are you too young to remember?
I'm only a few years younger than you, but I don't feel like I don't really remember this, but I don't know.
When I was in my final year of primary school, or what Americans call elementary school, we had a gas strike in Australia, and basically that meant that any gas appliance was not allowed to be used. Our shower was run on gas. So what you had to do was, if you wanted a hot shower, you had to boil your kettle. Thank God in Australia we have electric kettles.
Maybe I wasn't aware of this because we didn't have gas in our place at the time.
See, that makes a difference.
Possibly.
My grandmother's shower was electric, so she didn't go through that, and we would roast hers on the weekend.
Do you remember, this is not about the gas thing. Oh, wait, are you?
No, go ahead. Yeah, I'm done.
This is completely not about the gas thing, but I don't know if it happened down there as well, but we had a severe dust storm here in Sydney, in New South Wales.
Okay. Mm.
And I remember walking outside and the sky, and this was at like 9 a.m. in the morning, was
Yeah.
completely red. And
Oh.
it was the most terrifying thing ever because there was no reports about it on the news or anything yet. And everyone's like, the world's coming to an end. No,
Yeah.
we had a severe. It was crazy. Like it was red and orange outside, like the whole sky. Like it literally looked like the world was coming to an end.
Oh my
Yeah, so
gosh.
that was pretty fun. I remember that as a kid. I wouldn't call that necessarily a natural disaster, but it was quite interesting. Yeah.
I love how you call it fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was, like going outside and the sky's completely red and orange. Jin says, oh, Landon is a survivor of Katrina. Happy for you and yours. My family made it out in time. And that's really good. I'm glad that your family made it out in time.
Absolutely. And Landon says, I work in clinical research and drug studies. Wow, that's cool. What sort of laws exist in Australia and the UK to protect human subjects participating in research? Just wondering. That is a good question.
I don't know a whole lot about that. I mean, I think that they might do certain studies for certain things if people wish to sign up and participate, but don't quote me on that because I'm not too certain.
Yeah.
For like particular drugs for certain maybe illnesses and things. But yeah, honestly, Landon, like, I'm sorry to say, I don't know a whole lot about that subject, so I don't want to get anything wrong.
I can't say much onto it either. I know someone who was involved in a drug study. I can't remember what the drug was. But the only reason that he even got involved was because he was dealing with something, and then they asked him if he'd like to go on a trial for something that was being studied or something. But yes, we had to sign forms and stuff, but I honestly don't know much of the legal side to it. Sorry, Landon, about that. I'd love to discuss the law with you anytime, but I can't talk much about drug studies, sorry.
Landon said yes, thanks to Jin. And Jin said, oh, a red sky, creepy. It was very creepy, Jin. Like I'm sure you can imagine walking outside and the sky is completely red and you're thinking, what is going on? But then we found out there was a dust storm, so there was just major dust in the air, so that was fun.
Does having a dust storm, like, what does it do? What's the worst that can happen?
I don't think anything. It just really was really hard to see. I mean, like at a normal time of the day where you think the sky is fairly clear unless there's clouds, it was completely red, completely dusty. So, you'd have to take precautions driving. I'm thinking it might have affected people's asthma or, respiratory symptoms.
Yeah.
Other than that, it really did just clear up on its own after a few days from what I remember, but I was a kid when that happened, or a teenager, so I don't remember fully.
Yeah.
Landon said, will you be watching Riverdale Season 2 and doing live chat?
Absolutely, Landon. I loved Riverdale Season 1. I thought it was fantastic. Loved the reveal. Definitely watching Season 2. And if you guys would like to do live chats, let me know. And we'll take it from there. But I'm definitely covering Riverdale for sure, yes.
For sure. I think that I need to get into it because I have not watched it yet. So guys, like Landon, sell me on it a little bit. Like, let me know why I should be watching it because I haven't watched it yet. And I know a lot of people are watching it and getting into it and enjoying it. So let me know. Because, if somebody recommends it and thinks it's good, I might give it a go.
Yeah. There you go, Landon. The task of selling it to Sarah.
Sell it to me. But don't give too much away, Landon.
That's the secret.
It'll be a surprise if I do watch it.
Jin says the moon has been reddish orange and full the past 2 nights here. It sets around now in Indiana. Oh wow, that is so cool.
I think full moons are so cool. You guys just had the what was it? The eclipse or whatever.
Yeah, the
Over
eclipse.
there.
Yeah.
You guys were able to see it over there. We're usually not able to see things like that over in Australia.
No,
But I know
sadly.
that quite a few people were looking out for the eclipse over there in America.
It's true. I remember doing either live chats or hangouts or something, and people were saying, "Oh yeah, if you grab your cell and put it outside, you can record it and stuff like that."
Yeah, and don't look directly into the sun and everything because you'll get blinded.
Exactly.
And lo and behold, on the news or the internet a few days later, there's a photo of Donald Trump staring directly at the sun. Good on you,
Oh,
Donald. Good
oh
job.
no. Always impressing us. Excellent.
Jin said, "Oh, and the Fosters. I've missed it lately."
Oh, no problems at all, Jin. You have time to catch up. The good news for you having missed it is that we are now on a mid-season break. But this past season I enjoyed. There were good moments and bad moments, but yeah, it was good. The one thing that disappointed me, which won't give away anything to you, is that instead of doing the mid-season break at season 10, they did the mid-season break at season 9, so it was a bit confusing. But otherwise, I love the Fosters, and if you guys want me to continue to cover it, then I will.
And Honey needs to catch up as well with the Fosters, I think, season behind. And
No
Jin
problems at all.
said, Riverdale is a mystery show with teenagers with several layers with today's top 40 hit songs.
Yep.
Thanks for that, Jin.
And yep.
You continue.
Landon has given his selling moment to you. He says, "I like the show because this is Riverdale, because it incorporates a mystery and a separate storyline. Like with PLL, the whole show was focused on who A is. With Riverdale, we have the mystery storyline plus individual character storylines." And that's very true. Yeah, he's right about that.
Guys, very good job at letting me know. Commenting below and letting me know.
Well done, guys. No, I absolutely agree with what Landon is saying. The way I see it, if you like PLL for the mystery, then you'll like Riverdale. Like, the mystery for Riverdale is fantastic, but you're right. Everyone has their own individual character storylines, and they're all very interesting in their own way. So, yeah.
The characters are really classic since they are taken from a classic 1930s comic book. Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Correct.
there you go. That's actually very interesting sounding.
Yeah. So, speaking of which, without giving spoilers away from either season, apparently the character of Sabrina was in these comic books, and they're thinking about bringing Sabrina into season 2, I believe, which would make things a little bit different. But what has intrigued most people is who is going to be cast for the role of Sabrina. There have been talks about Dove Cameron to Lucy Hale to others. It'll be interesting to see who they cast Sabrina as. But yeah, it is based on a comic book. But I don't really get that comic book feel in an off-putting way anyway. Like, I really don't get an off-putting comic book feel, where my sister was talking to me the other day about Arrow, and she loves Arrow. She finds the main character really attractive. And she said, but now it's getting really weird because I keep seeing people with shark heads and I don't know what that's about. And I honestly don't know because I don't watch the show. But I said, maybe it's because it's from the comic book or something. I don't know. But anyway, that's just her take on it.
I'm sure that, if people are interested, Francois can potentially do some videos about it in time if more people are showing interest, and I definitely will have to try and get into it. I'm a bit behind with all the current shows, so
no, that's totally fine, Sarah. Jinkat says, I used to read the comics in the 70s. Oh, that's awesome, Jinkat.
I remember growing up with some comics, but definitely not these ones.
It looks like, Jin watches Riverdale as well, so that's pretty awesome. But a show that Sarah and I are watching at the moment that I was thinking of doing something on, but I'm still tossing and turning about, is a show on Netflix called The Sinner. I would recommend people watch it if you like watching a mystery. It's a great show.
It's a mystery with a little bit of a it's got a bit of a psychological spin on it. So it's a bit, you have to think a bit what's happening.
Yeah.
So
if there's enough interest and enough people watch it, let me know, and I might do something on it. We'll see how it goes.
And if you haven't heard of it or seen it, go have a look. Go look it up and see if it's something you'd be interested in. And yeah, go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Landon says, I have mixed feelings about bringing in a supernatural character into the show. I think they will need to do it the right way in order to make me like it. Yeah, I completely agree. So without giving anything away, Sarah, there's no supernatural characters so far in the show. So bringing one in could really change things up. Yeah, and so that was one of the fears that I had. And that's why I think Landon, has those mixed feelings. They have to do it the right way. I completely agree. And Jenny says Betty has a brother to come in next season. Betty's one of the characters. Cool. Okay. That's awesome.
Some say zombie kid, said Jen.
Zombie kid.
So.
Interesting.
Landon says, like when PLL brought in the whole Ravenswood supernatural aspect, I thought it was done well, but could have been done better. So you did you watch Ravenswood, Francois?
I watched some of Ravenswood.
I watched all of Ravenswood. I didn't watch it at the time that it came out. I watched it later on. It was very different to PLL.
Yeah.
So
from the little I saw, I could agree.
Some people were all up for it, and some people were very confused as to why it was completely supernaturally themed when PLL isn't like that. But I enjoyed it.
Cool. And that what's her name lady was in it, right? Mrs. Grunwald?
Mrs. Grunwald was in it. Obviously Caleb was in it.
And that Miranda girl.
The Miranda girl, and then we see what's her name? I've gone completely blank. Caleb's girlfriend.
Hannah.
One of the main PLL characters, and I can't remember. It's been a while, guys. Yeah, Hannah kind of goes back and forth a little bit for a bit there between the
Lennon says it was filmed in New Orleans, so it was fun to find landmarks of my hometown.
Is that which one, Ravenswood or something else?
I assume you're talking about Ravenswood.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
Nothing gets filmed in Australia because we're so far away from everything.
Although I keep getting told by people that I live not so far away from where an Australian show, Blue Heelers, would sometimes film.
Really? I remember that show back in the day. Back in the good old days. That's pretty cool. Yes, Ravenswood. Yeah. And Jin Cat watched a bit of Ravenswood as well.
Yeah. I think it was an okay idea to start with. For me, I don't know like what it was, but it didn't keep me intrigued the whole way through, like Pretty Little Liars did. But I could see what they were trying to do.
And let's just all say that I did enjoy Caleb, seeing more screen time with Caleb because, I love a bit of Caleb.
Love a bit of Tyler Blackburn, why not? Definitely agree.
Yeah.
I found it interesting when people were theorizing about PLL. One person came back to me and I loved this. They said there's no way Caleb can be AD because of Ravenswood. If Caleb was AD, Marlene wouldn't have made Ravenswood in the first place.
Yeah, I do agree. Like,
Theory.
Theories. There were many theories floating around for quite some time.
Oh, there were.
And that was a good time theorizing everything.
By the way, guys, I am aware that apparently Lucy Haley is going to have, I think it's her own show, if someone can confirm that. Yep, so it's not a film, it is a show.
No, it's a TV show. I've seen the ad for it.
How does it look?
And she's basically, it's very, very different to obviously the PLL type setup. I think if you watch the trailer for it, it pretty much gives this away. If you want me to give you a little bit of insight into what it's about, if this is the show that I'm thinking about. I think she was diagnosed with a terminal illness, and so she's living her life based on that, and then she finds out that she doesn't have a terminal illness, and so it's basically rediscovering life without that. I think that's what it is. Sorry if I'm wrong, but that's what I'm pretty sure.
Could be interesting.
So yeah, as I said, it's completely different to PLL in every sense of the word, but it's just good because we get to see Lucy Hale a bit more.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
that's true, we do. We're getting a few comments coming in.
Ooh.
Which is lovely. What are we up to? Jen Cat says they film in New Zealand and say it's Australia or England.
Oh, they lie.
What are we referring to? Are we referring to Ravenswood?
No, I think it's just in general, maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay, cool. Liars. Landon says, I watched Man in the High Castle or Castle, depending on where you're from, on Amazon Prime. It is an alternative reality of America losing World War II and Germany has taken over the world. It is really good. I think the both of you would love it.
Wow. That's pretty different, actually.
Yeah.
I like things that people haven't really done before. I don't think that anything's been done like that, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, agreed.
Honey, the show that Francois was recommending is called The Sinners.
Yep. Oh, sorry, everyone. I must apologize. I keep pluralizing it. It's called The Sinner.
Oh, The Sinner. There you go. Sorry about that. See, you've gotten me onto saying it wrong.
Yeah, I've got you doing it now. Yeah, exactly. There's only one person that sins. There aren't any more.
So it's called The Sinner, and it has Jessica Biel in it.
Yeah.
I think that was the one that you're referring to.
Yes, that's the one I was referring to. Yeah, Jessica Biel, who, if any of you have seen the old classic Seventh Heaven, I won't mention anything to do with the guy that played the Reverend, but the actual show itself I loved. And she played Mary in that series, and I loved Mary. She's very different in this series, though, in this show, though, to what she was in Seventh Heaven. But it's a very good show, so definitely look it up. Yeah.
Yep. Jin Cat said Caleb and Aria were to be country singers. Does anyone remember that? Well, Caleb had what are you mean? You're meaning in like real life? They're actual real people. Yes, they were singers.
Yeah.
Tyler Blackburn actually had his own, from what I think I remember, his own video clip out of music that he did, a solo.
Oh, wow.
And so he was more kind of rock based, whereas Lucy Hale, who played Aria, did more of the sort of country-ish style of music.
Yeah.
And she'd had already been in like some movies and stuff when she was a teenager and that, and done some country music. So before she even sort of got into PLL.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because I didn't know Lucy Hale prior to PLL. I knew she'd done things once I'd seen her in PLL because I did the research. But yeah, I've heard, I think, at least one of Lucy's songs, and I liked it. But I didn't know about Tyler, so I might have to look up Tyler's music.
Yeah, I think I've seen a video clip that he did, and it was pretty cool. As I said, it's kind of rock-ish. From what I remember, I have to go back and look it up, but
yeah,
you know.
Awesome.
So that was pretty cool. He had long hair in that video clip, from what I remember.
Nice, always good.
Jin Cat said, in general, Sarah, you're right. So yeah, they might film in, what did she say? What did they say? New Zealand.
Yeah, Australia.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
I did watch The Lion Game. Did you watch The Lion Game? Because I actually loved that show, and I was so sad that they cut it off and stopped making more seasons.
Oh,
Did you watch it, Francois?
no, I didn't. But I'm sorry for you guys.
Basically, oh, how do I even? I'm trying to remember.
It's not the one with summer in it, is it?
No.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Just throw you off
Damien,
there.
come in here and help me out. So if you remember The Lion Game, give us a general overview of what it was about. I'm very tired, but I think it was like two sisters had found out, like twins, had found out about each other and basically swapped lives. Well, not swap lives. It's hard to say it without like giving too much away. But yeah, basically one of them took the place of the other one. But then she keeps getting these messages and stuff, basically saying they know who she is, and all these messages and stuff. And I don't know. I'm trying to remember, but I'm really tired. But yeah, it was a pretty interesting show.
So like an adult mystery version of Parent Trap.
It was very PLL in the sense that you want to know who's sending these anonymous things and doing all this stuff, and we didn't find out because the show got axed before we got to that, unfortunately.
Oh, how annoying. I hate when they cancel shows like that.
So sad. As I said, it was very it reminds me of PLL, maybe not as intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, still quite a mystery.
Yeah. Jim Cat says yes. And Lie to Me on Netflix is good. I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
I have not heard of that.
Heard of it. I have not watched it.
I'm very behind on the shows. I need to catch up on all the current stuff. But see, here in Australia, on Netflix, we don't, and Francois, we don't always get everything that's on the American Netflix.
That's true.
So, unfortunately, there might be new shows that come out, and they're not approved for Netflix in Australia yet. We don't get all the content that America gets. So, unfortunately, we either have to try and find it somewhere else, or we have to wait until it's approved to be on Netflix here in Australia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if The Sinner is on Australian Netflix yet.
I would be shocked if it was. Pretty Little Lies is actually a great example of that. It took forever for Pretty Little Lies to be available on Australian Netflix, and it was on Australian TV, but it was on Australian pay TV.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't have pay TV, you couldn't see it. Yeah,
and
cable,
even on Australian Netflix, I'm pretty sure I checked just the other day, and they still haven't uploaded even the last season of Pretty Little Lies on there yet. So they're quite behind. Landon said, "You did a great job summarizing, Sarah. Twins who switch places in order for one of them to find their birth mother and father." Yeah, exactly. But then one of them basically gets sort of blackmailed, and the whole time we're trying to figure out who's doing that, and yeah, it's pretty intense. It's, as I said, I don't think it lives up to the PLL level of intensity, but it's still quite intense. I enjoyed it.
Sounds good. Sorry when I found out who the person was. Landon says, sorry?
There were books of the show.
Okay. And did they answer who the person was?
They did, but like books and then TV series, they usually go in a completely different direction on the TV series than what the books were. So
yeah. No, I can understand that. I used to watch the Buffy spin-off Angel, and when that suddenly just ended out of nowhere, I was like, okay, no, hang on, you can't just sort of end there because they're about to go into a big battle and it just stops.
Yeah, I agree. I was very sad about that because I did love that show too.
People like, they answer it in a cartoon. It's like, oh, that's great. That's not the same thing.
No.
Just quickly before I miss it, Landon says, I love the series Downtown Abbey. I think more Americans are starting to watch British and Australian TV.
Yeah, Downtown Abbey is British, isn't it?
Yeah. I haven't seen much of it, but I'm a huge fan of Dame Maggie Smith, and I've seen some clips of her doing Downton Abbey, and she looks really awesome.
I think that's quite an old show too. I think that's been around for quite a while, Downton Abbey.
It depends on your definition of quite a while, but yeah. It's not new.
No, it's certainly not new, no.
No. But yeah, as far as people loving like British and Australian TV, look, not to be unpatriotic to Australia, but I don't really have like, I think there's maybe like 1 or 2 Australian shows that I like, and that's it. I definitely watch a lot more American TV. That's just my view.
I agree.
Good if we can get some exposure. Landon says, I wish we could have gotten Sarah Shepherd's take on the ending of PLL, the TV series. I wonder how she felt about the ending. Good point. I never thought about Sarah Shepherd, but that's a great point.
Neither did I, actually.
Yeah. I know they had her come in to play a fill-in teacher in one of the episodes, which was at least nice. Yeah. But yeah, it would have been good to get her opinion. Completely agree.
Certainly.
Yeah. But I will say, as much as I don't watch a lot of Australian shows, if you go back far enough on comment below and let me know videos, you might find some reviews of a show called Real Housewives of Melbourne.
Oh, but we love that show. And you guys in America would have Real Housewives versions over there as well.
Yeah.
So we have our Australian version, which has now been taken over to America, so Americans can watch it too.
That's true, yeah.
And it's definitely one of those reality TV shows that people either love or hate, and I must say, I love it.
Exactly right. It did really well in Australia, so well that they started another franchise, The Real Housewives of Sydney, but Sydney didn't do as well. Being that you're from Sydney, Sarah, did you watch the Sydney one and did you like it?
I did not watch it because it was on, I don't think it was on normal TV. I think it was on pay TV as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's because they started off with the ladies from Melbourne, and everyone got used to them, and they were like, we like our Melbourne ladies. We don't want to venture out to Sydney. That's a bit too much out of our comfort zone.
Yep, it was. All of them were very different.
Landon said yes, like 10 different ones. Yeah. There's plenty of housewives shows over there. But you know what I must say? I know that the women are pretty catty and pretty crazy on the Australian one, but I find the women on the American ones are even more crazy.
Wow, that is saying something.
Yeah, I think it's just different, maybe cultures and personalities. Yeah.
Well, when Melbourne comes back, I might cover like the first episode, depending on how it goes. I might get going, but
I would happily do a chat with you about.
Yay!
If you wanted to do it, I would love to chat about the first episode of Real Housewives of Melbourne, and I don't know if anyone would get into that, but I certainly would.
That'd be awesome! Yay!
Yes, we're talking about cable. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, talking about cable. Yeah, about how many channels do you get for free in Australia? Well, back in the day, I mean, like, it's weird saying that, but still, because you have to sort of do that. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, channels. Is that right?
Yeah. 1,
so we had
3, 4, 5, maybe 6.
Yeah. So we had 3 main channels, 7, 9, and 10.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're called different things in Sydney. Are they called Prime and whatever in Sydney?
Oh, I don't even know.
Okay. Yeah. So 7, 9, and 10
were. It's been a very
long
time since I've watched regular TV.
Cool. 7, 9, and 10 were our main channels, and then we had 2 sort of like public, whatever you call it, channels, ABC and SBS.
Yes.
There's no luck. But now they've branched out with sister channels. So we've got more, including our own home shopping network, if you can believe it. TVSN.
Oh, yes.
Excuse me.
Yeah, and so and I'm assuming people still watch those channels, but a lot of people these days, I think anyway, have cable TV nowadays anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough not to. Like, you get really lucky to get, when I say good shows, I mean my version of good shows. Good shows on free to air. Like, I think back in the day, American Horror Story was on 11, I think it was. But as I said, PLL was definitely on cable, and all of the other stuff was on cable.
Yeah, mostly. And unless you don't watch TV that often, and that's it. If you really want to watch TV, I think a lot of people now are either getting cable TV or just signing up for Netflix. A lot of people like Netflix is the new way, or like, internet streaming. We have a few streaming sites on here that are paid for streaming sites on here, as like in Australia as well. I think we have one called Stan.
Yeah, true.
And I'm not sure about other ones, but that's a particularly like Australian only, I think, paid streaming site.
My dad uses Stan. He says it's really good, has no complaints.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't stream only Australian shows. There are shows from all over the world, but yeah, that company is particularly Australian. From what I gather.
Yeah. Lennon says, we've got about 12. I don't pay for TV. I just stream through Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Hulu. I must say, I hadn't heard of Amazon Prime before tonight, but a lot of people have talked about Hulu. Apparently, it's really, really good. But yeah, I hadn't heard of Amazon Prime. But yeah, Netflix is great. And from what I've heard and seen regarding American Netflix, it's really good.
Really good. A lot more content than Australia, unfortunately, but it is what it is.
It's like, here's the compromise. We'll give you Netflix in Australia, but we'll give you like a quarter of the shows or something.
It's like that. For the same price.
Yeah, exactly.
We roll. Good old Australia.
It's still called Australia home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and yeah, if there's anything else that you guys would like, I'll say us, but at the same time me, to check out from whatever, Netflix or whatever, please let me know. Honestly, if I get into it and you guys love it, I might cover it on my channel. So I'm always up for recommendations.
He definitely loves his TV show recommendations, so recommend away.
I do. I must say, I'm getting inundated. It's Australian. I love it. I'm getting inundated with recommendations for this gypsy show. Everyone is saying gypsy, 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 gypsy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna watch this.
Is that we're not too sure. It may not go ahead with a second season, which is pretty sad. If you do end up watching and getting into the first season of Gypsy, yeah, unfortunately, it may not go ahead. It depends. I think people are very split on this show. Some people absolutely loved it, and then other people did not get it and just didn't really get into it. I found it fascinating, but it depends on people's personal preference.
Sorry, Landon. I just saw the comment you put above it's Australian. Netflix put out that show, Mermaids of Mako or Mako Island. Did you see it? Well, sorry, owing to the pronunciation you're probably getting that I didn't know. I didn't. Have you seen Mermaids of Mako or Mako Island?
No, I have not actually. I'm sure if it's Australian, then it's probably on our Netflix.
I feel so bad. I so would have finished that sentence differently if it's Australian. And then it says, me too, I haven't seen Gypsy either. Yeah, I don't know if people have recommended it to you, Landon, but certainly a lot of people have recommended it to me. Like Sarah said, some people loved it, some hated it, but what people are saying, like, some people would just say, here's a show, watch this. with Gypsy, people are saying, watch Gypsy, you will love it. It's your kind of show. Like,
It's
everyone's just saying,
just
I will
for
love it.
me. For me, Gypsy was a show is a show that I've not seen that concept done in a show before, so I found it quite interesting. But it's really up to your personal preference. Give it. I mean, you know what? Even the write up for it doesn't really say a whole lot about what it's about.
Yeah,
So, it gives a very brief description, but it doesn't actually tell you how deep it gets into things and how, crazy it is.
okay.
And I don't want to give too much away, so I really don't want to say at all what it's about because,
Yeah,
I want you to find out for yourself if you do watch it.
yeah. Thank
So,
you.
I mean, all you can do is just watch episode 1 and go from there. If you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, then that's fine.
Cool. I like
Yeah,
that. I
I like
will.
that.
I will say just quickly, speaking about shows that go deep, if you haven't watched it, I do recommend that everyone watch a show on Netflix called 13 Reasons Why. I will say that if you are under a certain age, to watch it with your parents, because it can get quite graphic. But for me, I feel like 13 Reasons Why, despite the fact that it is a scripted show, is quite educational in many ways. It brings about uh, a rather sensitive topic. It brings it to the forefront without giving away too
Definitely.
much. And I have considered multiple times doing chats on it and stuff like that, and haven't gotten around to it yet. But if people are still interested in doing that, please let me know. And once I am better, I will still do it. But yeah, I just want to put that out there. Um, we have a
Definitely.
message from Landon for you, Sarah.
And he asked you a question as well. Would you like
Oh,
to
he
answer
did
that question?
too. Yes, Francois, how is being a tennis court manager? I'm a tennis court supervisor, Landon, and yeah, it's good. I don't. It's a casual position, so it comes around whenever there's tournaments in Victoria, and I love it. So basically, I feel like my role is a combination of tennis umpiring slash being a judge. So anytime there's a dispute that comes up in a match, I go on court and deal with the players and make a decision. So yeah, I very much enjoy it. Thank you for asking.
Well,
Um,
Sarah's just stay at home at the moment, so I don't have too much to tell you, unfortunately, Landon. So that's all I
but
can say on that.
Sarah is actively part of Common
I definitely am.
Rebellion.
Landon said, yes,
Yep.
13 Reasons Why was absolutely amazing. The actress that
Ooh,
played Hannah is Australian. Yes, I heard that.
so true. I did not know it watching the show. Then when I saw her being interviewed, I was like, wait, what? What's that
It's
accent?
yeah, a lot of Australians are breaking into American TV at for a while now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, and then you don't realize that they're Australian, and then you see them in interviews and stuff, and you're like, wow, that's not their accent
Yeah.
from the show.
So cool. What was I going to say? Landon, I don't know if you know this, but to anyone who has seen the first season of 13 Reasons Why, they have absolutely confirmed that there will be a second season. And if you guys want me to cover the second season, I will without hesitation. That's how much I love the first one. I will go right into it if you guys want me to.
Well, it
Um,
seems to be a show that everyone's talking about, and whether it's, they have negative things to say or positive things to say, either way, people are talking about it. So,
they need to hire you for a soundbite. That was really good.
you what?
They need to hire you to do a soundbite because that was really good. Either way, they're talking about it. But it's
They
so
are
true.
talking about it, and we can
Such a,
talk about it too.
yes, we can.
No,
No,
actually, I haven't seen it. As I said, yes, I know. I'm sorry. I'm very, very slow at catching up with the recent shows.
yeah,
But yeah, it's one that people are recommending to me as well. So it's probably one I should get into.
Definitely. But I do need to recommend to everyone out there, because I'm not just going to say blindly go and watch this. 13 Reasons Why is a trigger show. It might bring up things for people. It goes places that other shows won't go. So I definitely say, be warned when you are watching.
Yeah. Good point.
Just want to, keep everyone safe. It is, but in saying that though, if you do watch it, you walk away going, "Wow, this was really well done." But you do need to be prepared for that. Landon says, yes, it will be very interesting to see what direction they take for season 2, since the first season is based on a book. The writers had content to base their script. Oh, so there wasn't a book that they're basing the second season on. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. Hey, you have to let me know if you get onto watching it, Sarah, what you think. No pressure at all, but if you do, yeah.
I will.
Yeah. Anything else, guys, before we probably wrap this up soon?
Yeah, it is 12:16 a.m. in Australia, so we will have to head off soonish to go rest our little heads.
While you guys in the US are waking up or enjoying or whatever, going about your Friday, we are into Saturday over here. So if you like to come to the future, travel to Australia. So yeah, if there's anything else you guys would like to say, as we said, we will probably wrap up in a couple minutes and then go and get some rest. But this has been a lot of fun. I love doing impromptu chats on my channel.
Definitely.
And this is the first time I've done an impromptu chat with someone else. And Sarah, it's been a lot of fun doing it with
you. It has been. It was very exciting to just jump right in with no particular topic and go, let's go for it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that, random that you would like to chat about before we head off? Any random thing at all? You're like, can't think of anything.
I'm looking around the room for inspiration. I'm seeing a mug that I have with a cat on it going, oh, we can talk about kittens.
It's funny because I was looking at the end of my bed seeing my cat. I'm like, let's talk about cats.
Cats are lovely.
Cats are amazing.
Before we get into cats, Sunday or Saturday, Landon is saying it is Saturday here.
It is 12:18 a.m. Saturday morning.
Okay. Like a whirlwind, the weekend go. Saturday. And Landon says, so happy that I got to be at this chat. Super excited about the live chat for Riverdale. Yay, Landon. Me too.
Yeah, we haven't seen you in a while. Well, Francois hasn't seen you in a while, so it was great that you got to join in.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. As I said, I was rewatching that video where your name popped up, and I was going, oh, I wonder where Landon is, and there you are. And Landon says, I do love cats. Yeah.
Yes, you are a cat lover like us.
Yay. It's so funny. I've talked to Sarah a couple of times about my cats. Back in the day, many, many years ago, I was in a situation where I had about 20 cats, which is, I know, ridiculous. I was literally the old cat lady.
The definition of crazy cat lady.
I was. I don't want to say Agnes Skinner, if anyone knows The Simpsons. Not Agnes. What was the crazy cat lady? I'm mixing up two characters here. Yeah. I don't know why I mixed up the two characters there, but yeah, I had about 20 cats at one time, and it was nuts, but they were like my kids, and I loved them, and I know Sarah loves her cat. And
I'm very happy with my one cat. Again, one cat.
You sure you don't want 19 more?
No, thank you. I'd be happy with the second cat so that my cat can have a little cat buddy to hang around with. But I don't think 19 cats is really something I want to do. But I do love cats, though. Would you prefer dogs or cats or another animal completely? I know people have very particular preferences on animals.
Are you saying me or in general?
Yeah, in general, but you.
Okay, yeah, for me, I've had both. Growing up when I was a kid, I had a short hair Cocker Spaniel that I absolutely loved. named Kiko, which was meant
Oh.
to be named after the whale in Free Willy, who we found out years later his name was Keiko.
Yeah.
But yeah, we called him Kiko, and I loved Kiko. He was fantastic. Unfortunately, he died of parvo a couple of years ago. But I did love him. In saying that, I prefer cats. I don't know what it is about me, but the fact that the cats can be independent, do their own thing, and then, you know, when they want attention, they like snuggle up to you and all that. I love cats.
I find that cats are very, very different. They are independent. So when they choose your company, you feel a little more special because you're like, yeah, they have specifically chosen me. The cat chooses the human.
That's true. The one chooses the wizard, but the cat
That's
chooses the
exactly
human.
what I was thinking.
Landon, thank you for your question. I love that. Landon says, I do have one question. Where can I find your Running of the Darkened Soul? I really enjoyed listening to you reading it. Thank you, Landon. I appreciate it. You can, I just have to think about it. I have 2 different sites that I write on. Okay, yeah. You can find the Darkened Soul on a site called fictionpress.com. So that's fictionpress.com. And then if you search the author Francois T, all one word, so Francoist, my name comes up and you will find, among others, The Darkened Soul, and you can read it there. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Lovely, Landon. I hope you can do some good reading and
Yeah.
some of that in.
I used to write quite a bit. For the last couple of years, whenever I wasn't doing anything, my head would be down, I'd be writing. Being sick has been harder to do it, but yeah, I will, once the video uploads as well, I'll leave the link in the description in case you missed it. But thank you, I appreciate it. It's nice when people bring it up. Skylar was bringing it up the other day, saying, I miss you reading The Darkened Soul. I'm like, oh my God, The Darkened Soul. So thanks, I appreciate that you guys love it. I do.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to add, Sarah, before we depart?
I don't think so, to be honest. Landon put a thumbs up. Thumbs up to you.
Yay! Thumbs up. I'm putting 2 thumbs up here, and I realize you can't see me. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny because I sat here and I put my thumb up as well. So you got the thumbs up, you just can't see it. But no, I don't think there's anything else I personally want to add. I'm just happy we got to do this random chat and, you know, talk about stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff is fun to talk about.
It is. It is. It was a lot of fun. I've done a couple of impromptu chats before, as I said, never one with someone else being here. But every time I do an impromptu chat, it never ceases to amaze me that no one's given any warning, and yet people still show up. And it's like, wow.
Yeah, it's always the random ones that people are showing up to.
Yeah. So a big thank you to everyone who came to this live version, and if you're listening to it delayed, thank you to you too. I appreciate it. But if you came live, I definitely appreciate it because no notice, and here you are.
Yeah, thanks guys for listening to our rambles.
Yeah,
and welcoming me on here because I don't obviously come on here much, but Francois did invite me on just for a bit this evening.
I did, and I'm so glad I did. It's fun.
Yay, let's clap. Everyone have a bit of a clap. I'm clapping.
All right, guys, we'll have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, no matter where you are. As Francois T always says, make love and not war. Is there anything you would like to say, Sarah?
No, I agree with you, Francois. I think that's a good outro right there. We'll leave it at that.
And to anyone in Australia, to everyone else, I love you all. To anyone in Australia, vote yes. I'm going to start saying this from now on.
Yes, definitely vote yes. And Landon said, me too, have a great night. You too.
Oh, have a great night.
Have a good day, Landon.
Oh, yes. Have a great day, Landon. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to all of you. And we may or may not see you very soon with another impromptu chat. That's what's so great about having an impromptu chat. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.